Hello, guys. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how
Hi,
are
how
you?
are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm good. Thank you.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
good afternoon. Thank you very much.
So, are you sleep deprived again? No?
I was on night shift last night, but
Uh-huh.
I'm fine. I think I'm fine today.
Uh-huh. Good. Thank God. Okay. Did you save a life last night?
Save a life.
No, last night the PICO was calm and quiet.
Uh-huh. Good. Thank God again. There was calm and quiet.
Life Israel was another
What did you say, Shireen? You
another
broke up. What did you say?
Israel. Much Israel.
Israel was
Yes.
in another
Uh-huh.
place, baby.
Death. You mean
Yes.
death?
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the country, Israel. Okay. Okay.
Yes. Another hospital.
Okay. Yes. So actually, it was Israel. I mean death, who took the
Yes.
night off. Okay, you were on night shift, but he was on an off night, so that's why nothing
Yeah.
happened. Thank God. Okay, so we have a new article today. I'm sorry, do you hear the drills? Do you hear the drills? Can you hear them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm sorry, I have
but
to
it
go.
doesn't bother.
I'll close the window. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, they're constructing a new building near here, and there are drills working every day. So, a new article. Who wants to go first today?
Me.
Me.
Okay, so who? Who?
Me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so me again. Okay, would you please start reading it? The Dutch welfare state.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Dutch welfare state, the fraud that wasn't.
Mhm.
Um,
Understood.
Amsterdam,
Mhm.
innocent parents, guilty government.
Yes. Yes, go on, please.
Every country,
Mhm.
yeah, every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul.
Mhm.
Take the Netherlands, and egalitarian country, but also a deeply Calvinist
Mhm.
and bureaucratic one.
Mhm.
Dutch benefits are generous.
Mhm.
Income income inequality is among the lowest in the EU,
Mhm.
but benefits are subject to complicated rules meant to exclude the undeserving.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
undeserving. Yes,
Mhm.
this can run.
These.
Uh, these
Mhm.
can run amok.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah, over the past decade, systems meant to snoop out abuse of child care benefits,
Mhm.
uh, wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents
Mhm.
as fraudsters, yes,
Fraudsters. Yes.
fraudsters,
Mhm.
and drove many into penury.
Yes. Mhm.
Penury, yes.
Mhm.
چقدر سخت شد. On January 15th,
Mhm.
Mark Rutte, the
Mhm.
prime minister and his cabinet registered
No, not this.
resigned
Mhm.
resigned over the scandal.
Mhm.
It may herald a modest shift to the left in Dutch social policy.
Okay. So it seems difficult because it's The Economist. and it was printed in the UK. So some of the words and structures you see are British English, not American. And because it's The Economist, the words are, you know, very formal words in this magazine. Okay? I wanted to make some changes. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't
Hi.
hear you for one moment. Okay, so back to the title, The Dutch Welfare State. What's Dutch, Bezat? Dutch.
Dutch, I think, means for some countries like Germany, Austria, and Netherlands. I think in these countries we have Dutch people.
Yes, but in here, what does Dutch mean in here in this article, based on what you read?
Maybe the people from Netherlands.
Yes, exactly, the Netherlands. The fraud that wasn't. What does this title mean, in your opinion? The fraud that wasn't.
Based on the paragraph that I've read, I can guess that maybe in some situations, parents in this country were supposed to be, guilty, but actually they weren't.
Very good, excellent. So the title is actually The Fraud That Wasn't Fraud. The fraud that wasn't
Yes.
fraud, but it's shortened in here. Amsterdam, you know, that's the capital of the Netherlands. Innocent parents, guilty government. You know this part. Every country's
Yes.
welfare state is a reflection of its soul. What does welfare state mean?
Welfare state in Farsi, we have an equivalent for welfare state in Farsi. I think سازمان تامین اجتماعی.
No, it's not سازمان تامین اجتماعی. No.
Oh yes.
There's another
Every country's
equivalent.
welfare.
There's another equivalent, actually. The equivalent is not good. It's not a good translation, but that is common. Shirin, do you know the equivalent in Farsi?
Maybe
Doesn't matter. First, explain it in English. What do you think welfare state is? And then we can work on the equivalent.
the state, financial state of the people of that country, I think.
Then why is it called welfare state?
Both financial and the insurance or the things that government prepare for people.
Very good. As welfare, right? As welfare. What is welfare in Farsi? What is welfare in Farsi?
بیمه.
No.
بیمه, no.
Bime is insurance.
Insurance.
It's an easy word. I'm sure you must have heard it. Refah. Refah.
Refah, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So welfare state, the equivalent of welfare state in Farsi is Dolat Refah. But it doesn't mean a specific government or state administration, etc. Just the part of that government or system that is responsible for the welfare of people by providing, as you said, insurance for them, giving them subsidies, etc., to help them live a happier life, easier life.
Yeah.
That's the welfare state. So every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul. You understand this part too, right?
Yes.
Any questions? Shirin, do you understand this part too?
What is the exact meaning of soul here?
It means, that's what I want you to say. What does soul in here mean? You know soul for a human being.
Yes.
But when we say soul, even in Farsi, we say ruh. What do we mean exactly? Not for people. When we refer to the soul of different things or organizations, what do we mean?
Aim.
Excuse me?
Aim, goal.
Very good,
Aim.
very good, you're close. Aim or goal or the reality behind it. The actual thing, okay? The reality behind it. So every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul, the reality behind it, because you know, different governments and administrations try to show themselves as very good governments, good administrations, good politicians. They try to show that they're really good. There's nothing wrong with them. But the soul
Yes.
shows who they actually are. So every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul. Okay, for example, in Canada, you must have heard that Canada is the best in preparing welfare for its citizens. At least that's what they say. And when you talk to the people who are from there or are citizens, they say that it's like that everywhere. It's not just insurance, it's welfare from every aspect of their lives. And it shows that that is the soul that's dominant in the country. The people
Yes.
who are the authorities want people to live happy lives. Okay, that's the soul.
Mhm.
So that is of course in here what the writer thinks. She says, or he says, that every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul, whether it is corrupt or not. Okay.
Yes.
Take the Netherlands. What does this part mean? Take the Netherlands.
Let's talk about Netherlands, or let's consider Netherlands as an example.
Very good. Excellent. Exactly. Take the Netherlands. Shirin, did you know this? That take the Netherlands, take plus this means, let's consider this as an example. Shirin?
Take the
Yes.
Netherlands. We have, I think, in Farsi, مثلا میگه
Yes, yes. اینو در نظر بگیر, for
مثلا
example.
بلند و در نظر بگیر.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
But Shirin, did you know that take is used in this case to mean this?
No.
No? Okay, I
No.
want you to make a sentence. Use take,
Mhm.
make a similar sentence.
Mhm.
It's not just the country. You could talk
Um,
about anything, okay? Bezat, you go first. You make a sentence and then she will make her own.
we can talk about everything, yes?
Yes,
In a
anything.
country, take the coronavirus, a fatal virus
Mhm.
that can spread very rapidly,
Mhm.
and
Yes, but Bezat, you need
and
you need to, make a context before that. For example, talk about terminal diseases or terminal viruses.
yes,
Okay, and then say, okay, take coronavirus. Okay, so make another
yeah.
example, please.
For example, in this talk, we have a lot of viruses on our agenda.
Mhm.
Take the coronavirus, a fatal a fatal virus that can spread very rapidly.
Very good, excellent. Now, Shirin, yours?
It's difficult.
This is something,
During
Bezat, I'm
the-
sorry to interrupt, Shirin. This is something, Bezat, that you can use in your writing. For example, for the IELTS test, because it's formal. Not very formal, but it's not very common in IELTS speaking, but you can use it in IELTS writing. Because, one thing
Yes.
that you should consider while providing the writing section is that when you provide an example, it's a point. It's good. It helps you write more sentences, even when you run out of
Yeah.
ideas. So instead of saying, for example, for instance, that's repetitious and very common, you can say take. Okay, so Shirin, yours?
Yeah, very good. I haven't noticed.
Notice what?
Notice that I can use, for example, this expression or
Yeah.
this combination of words in writing.
Yes, when we get to the writing section, I'll ask you to do that.
Yeah.
then
Thank you very much.
you're welcome, dear. And you have to say, I hadn't noticed, not I haven't.
I hadn't noticed.
Yes,
Yes,
because I
yes, I
just told
hadn't.
you. So Shirin, yours? شیرین رفته گل بچینه. Okay, where are you? Where are you?
He's thinking about the exact meaning of this expression in Farsi.
No, Shirin, I think you're reading too much into this. It's very simple. Very simple. I think you focus too much. That's why you cannot make this example. Very easy. It's very easy. Really easy. Just make a sentence. Doesn't matter. Even if it's wrong, we say, okay, it's wrong. Make another one. Okay? Don't try to be perfect. Just say whatever comes to your mind.
For example, a lot of countries have problems with coronavirus. Take the US, for example.
You better say, for
They
example,
have-
a lot of first world countries, a lot of modern countries, okay? Even a lot of modern countries have problem with the coronavirus. Take, for instance, or take the US, for instance.
Take the US.
Or take the US. No, for instance, or no, for example.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Shirin?
During the coronavirus, all the schools are off, and the
You can use
students
closed. Closed is better. Schools are
closed.
closed, yes.
And all the students study online. Take these changes. Take those changes. All students have some problem because they
no. Okay, sure. When you want to use take, just suppose that instead of take, you could say for instance. Instead of take, you could say for example. So make another sentence.
For instance.
Sometimes you see that they're used together. Take plus, for instance. For example, in here, the writer could say, take the Netherlands, for instance, or take the Netherlands, for example. But that's redundant. You don't need to use that one too. Just take. I want you to talk about something, Shirin. Talk about different methods one can use in order to lose weight. Then use take.
During the coronavirus, people can't go to the gym and take the group exercise. They can go to the private class and private gym, for example.
It didn't make any sense. I didn't understand what you wanted to say, Shirin. I didn't understand what you wanted to say.
During the coronavirus, people can take part in a group class. Take the group class. They can use. Go to the.
No, Shirin. See, pay attention to the examples that we just made. Okay. For example, Behzad said that there are a lot of fatal viruses out there. Take the coronavirus. It spreads rapidly, blah, blah. Okay. And the example here, every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul. Take the Netherlands. And then the writer talks about different aspects of welfare in the Netherlands. So you must make a sentence like that. There are a lot of easy ways to lose weight. Take, I don't know, you say something. That's your field of study.
I have another example.
Yes, go on.
For example, all of the musical instruments are hard to play. Take the flute, for instance.
Yes,
You need to breathe, read the notes, and, for example, move your fingers simultaneously.
Yes, very good. Okay, Shirin, you work on that, okay? For next session that we have a review, you can work on that and make your own sentence, okay? Hello? Okay.
Thank you.
So, take the Netherlands, an egalitarian country, but also a deeply Calvinist and bureaucratic one. Okay, an egalitarian country. Besot, what does this mean?
Egalitarian,
Yes.
I don't know.
This word is actually, it comes from French, but it's very much similar to an English one.
Elegance?
No. In elegance, Shirin, we have L and then G. But in here we have a G and then L. Oh, what other word does it remind you of? What? What other word?
Egalitarian, I looked it up in the dictionary.
Why? I just asked you to guess. Why did you look it up? No, you're not allowed to talk then. Shirin must. Why? Don't look up, please. Okay, I want you to guess. I want you to, arrive at that moment of the aha moment, When you look it up, then you won't get the chance. You'll go to hell. Okay. So, Shirin, your turn. Do you know what he found in the dictionary? No?
No.
Okay. Egalitarian. Egalitarian. Another adjective is égal. It comes from égal. Égal, yes. Do you speak any other languages, Shireen?
No, just
English?
No.
No.
Okay.
Deutsch.
Deutsch. Okay, I don't know Deutsch.
She used to study Dutch.
Dutch. Okay. Yes, but Dutch people call it Deutsch, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Shireen, I'll give you a hint, okay? But Bezat, don't say anything, okay? Instead of G in this word, put Q. The letter Q.
Equal.
Very good.
Equal.
Excellent. Yes, equal. Equal. But egalitarian. So an egalitarian country. See, Bezat, now Shirin will never forget this, but you might, because you cheated and looked it up. Okay, so Bezat, your turn now. What does it mean when we say an egalitarian country? What do you think it means?
Egalitarian country is a country that whose policy is to make equilibration between different people in that country.
Very good. Equal what did you say?
Make equilibration.
Equilibration. Why
Equilibration?
equilibration?
Equivalent.
What? What did you say, Shirin?
تساوی.
Tasawi of what? Shirin, what did you say?
Equivalent.
Value.
Equivalent.
Equivalent. No, equivalent is معادل. No. Equal values. I thought you said equal values. Yes.
موازنه. Equilibration.
Okay, make it simpler. For example, is Iran an egalitarian country?
No, I think communist society believe.
No.
Believe.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Egalitarian doesn't mean that. For example, it's mostly, I'll give you this hint, it's mostly about men and women, or men versus women.
Yes,
So,
yes.
تساوی حقوق بین زن و مرد, okay? Especially for the wages, the money that you pay them. So take the Netherlands,
Yeah.
an egalitarian country, but also a deeply Calvinist and bureaucratic one. Do you know Calvinist?
No.
No, because you cannot guess it based on the word. It comes from John Calvin. It's a branch of Protestant, something religious, a religious system. Okay, a modern way of a modern system of belief in Christianity. Okay.
Yes.
And bureaucratic, you must know this one. What does bureaucratic mean?
We have bureaucratic in Iran.
Yes. And the noun form, this
Uh,
is an adjective. What is the noun form of bureaucratic?
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. Yes, bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy.
Yes. So what does it mean in English? When we call a government bureaucratic, what does it do?
The first thing that comes to my mind in when someone talks about bureaucracy is, you know, the things that are related to governments and a lot of
That's bureau or offices, of course. But
yeah,
bureau is also
offices
office.
and paperwork and stuff like that.
Okay, very good. Shirin, what do you know about bureaucracy? What kind of a government is a bureaucratic one? Hello?
Some country that they are where they have very
Wait, Shirin, you're again doing that. You said some country that they don't do that.
that have very strong rules.
Very good.
And they never changed it easily.
Yes.
And they use it this rule equal for everyone.
Yes. You better say strict rules, not strong. When you say strong, it's something positive, but the rules are not strong. They're just strict. People then don't use their minds. They just say, okay, these are the rules. These are the rules. That's what you hear.
Yes.
In different parts of the government. Okay, so bureaucratic one. Dutch benefits are generous. What does this mean, Bezod, based on what you just read? Dutch benefits are generous.
Yeah, the benefits and advantages of these societies are a lot.
Yes, of course, generous, a lot. Income inequality is among the lowest in the EU. What does this mean, Bezod? In English, explain it.
One of the problems in EU countries is income inequality, which is the
inequality.
Inequality, yes, which is very low in Netherlands.
Yeah, but what is income inequality? Do we have it in Iran?
Yes.
What is it?
A lot.
What is it?
Inequality, it means people in different levels have different income, and there is inequality among them.
Give me an example.
In terms of
income. Okay, give me an example.
For
by
example,
level, I'm sorry to interrupt, Bezod. By level, you meant class, huh? People from different classes. You have classes of society, but also among men and women.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay, give me an example.
Yes, yes. For example, I can say we have some employees in our hospital, both from men and women.
Mhm.
And when, for example, a woman does exactly the same work that a man does,
Mhm.
but their income is not the same.
Yeah, it's lower. Huh? That's income
Yes.
inequality. Yes, very good. But benefits are subject to complicated rules meant to exclude the undeserving. Benefits are subject to complicated rules. I know that you know the meaning of the word benefits, plural of benefit, and complicated rules. You must know that one too. But what does it mean to say that benefits are subject to complicated rules? What does it mean to be subject to something?
But benefits are subject to complicated rules meant to exclude the undeserving.
Mhm.
I didn't get the whole meaning.
Mhm.
But benefits are subject to complicated rules. Maybe it means these benefits that we've talked about
Mhm.
are because of complicated rules in
No,
this country.
not because of, no.
Yes, I don't know the meaning of to be subject
Well,
to.
that's the point. Yes, I want you to guess this part. That is the structure used in here. To be subject to something. It has several different meanings. So the benefits are subject to complicated rules. Benefits are subject to complicated rules. I'll give you some other examples as a hint. Okay? To be subject to something, that's the structure, and it has different meanings. For example,
Yes,
we can
benefits.
say that some people are subject to asthma attacks. Some people are subject to
Yes.
asthma attacks. What does it mean in English?
It means these people are predisposed or have predisposing factors to
Mhm.
develop asthma attack.
It means that what? Can you explain
They
it?
are susceptible.
Very good.
They are susceptible.
They're likely. It might happen to them.
Likely.
Okay? This is one meaning of it. You might have read this on some products. Um, anyone who abuses this is subject to prosecution. Have you read or heard this? No. If you
Very
haven't, then it
rarely.
cannot help. It cannot help.
Yeah.
If you break a law, you might be subject to persecution. تحت
Yes,
پیگرد
yes.
قانونی قرار میگیرید. Okay, you break a law,
Yes,
you're
yes.
subject to persecution. Also, for example, you sign an agreement with someone, and then the
Yes.
other party tells you that this agreement is not effective now because it is subject to the approval of my boss.
It is dependent.
Very good. It is dependent on it. Yes, he has to approve it,
Yes.
and then we can, you know, say that it's official. Until then, we cannot
Yes.
say that. Okay. What else can I say?
Oh, so here I can guess. These benefits that we've talked are dependent to complicated rules.
Dependent on. You say dependent on. Yes.
Yes,
Very good.
dependent on.
Yes, very good. Dependent on complicated rules, or those complicated rules have an effect on these.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so it is granted there are benefits, a lot of benefits, generous benefits in the Netherlands, but it's not easy to get them. There are complicated
Yes.
rules because of the bureaucratic system of the country that you need to consider before getting the benefits or deserving the benefits or being approved as someone who deserves the benefits. So Benefits are subject to complicated rules. Bezat, would you please make a sentence with this, to be subject to something?
Yes. The benefits are subject to complicated rules. Our victory against coronavirus is subject to yes,
very good.
Is subject to a lot of factors.
Very good.
Like wearing masks or
social distancing, for example.
Social distances or getting vaccines and other factors.
Yes, very good. Shirin, you?
Being successful in exam is subject to studying hard.
Yes, yes. Of course, it's a formal expression, okay? You don't use it in, for example, informal or friendly conversations. Yes, to be subject to something. Yes. I don't know how much...
This expression is formal, yes?
This what is?
This expression, to be subject to something, is formal.
Yes. You see it in formal texts or formal speeches. For example, when the president is talking, okay? Addressing all the people of the country. I don't know how much you're familiar with Instagram, but some time ago, there were some pages, some people, some Instagrammers, we call them Instagrammers, who were very much influential. They had a lot of followers, like, for example, 500,000 or 1 million followers in Iran. And there were these girls and boys who didn't have good hijab, but after some time, you'd see that they removed all their photos and started wearing hijab and putting new posts in which they have full hijab. And then on their page, they would say, subject to the rules of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Or some of them didn't do any of that, didn't wear hijab, but they just put on their pages, subject to the rules of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And then they do anything they wanted. Subject to the rules of the Islamic Republic of Iran. What is that? What does to be subject to mean in that?
No, due to rules of Islamic Republic of Iran.
Due to? No, not due to. You just said it. It's dependent on it, affected by it. Okay?
Yes.
That was their claim. That was their claim. Okay? How do you say it in Farsi?
تحت تاثیر.
No. I mean, subject to the rules of the Islamic Republic of Iran. How do you say that in Farsi?
زیر نظر قوانین ایران.
Yes. تحت قوانین جمهوری اسلامی. Yes. It means that whatever we do on this page is based on the rules. We're law-abiding people. Okay, that's what they meant. Okay, so subject to and then complicated rules meant to exclude the undeserving. Can you explain this part, Bezat?
The benefits are subject to complicated rules, which means, no. I think,
no. It's a reduced clause, but it's not which means, no.
Which meant to exclude the undeserving. I mean, the whole meaning is that these complicated rules actually mean to or causes
No.
to exclude the undeserving. Yes?
Not cause, no, not cause. First of all, tell me what the reduced clause in here is. What was the full form of the sentence? The sentence is shortened.
Subject to are subject to complicated rules.
Sharon, if you know, you can chime in too.
Meant.
What did you say? What did you say?
Which I don't know.
No. Okay.
Meant to exclude the undeserving.
Meant to perform.
Okay.
Which means?
No. Let me give you a hint. It's not active, it's passive. So what is it?
Which is which is meant.
Okay, you're close, but this is rules, plural.
Which are
meant. Yes, very good. Which are meant.
Yes.
But mean in here does not mean definition. What does it mean?
منجر شدن به.
No. I'll give you an example. Shirin, you can say what you think it means too. You call me right now, and when I pick up the phone, I say, hello, Shirin. I just meant to call you. What a coincidence.
Yes.
What does it mean?
I was about to call you.
Not exactly, no.
I meant to call you.
I'll give you another example. Because in there, I said just, that's why you thought that it means to be about to happen. Not exactly. I'll give you another example. Okay. Okay, you have a patient who has a terminal disease. You have to break the news to them. You have to break the news to them. And you call them to your office and say, blah, blah, okay, I'm sorry, but it's a terminal disease. You just have, I don't know, 6 months to live. I didn't mean to break your heart, but that is the truth. I didn't mean to break your heart. That is the truth.
I didn't want to.
Very good. To want to intend to do something. To mean to do something means to intend to do it. What does intend mean? To mean to do something means to...
To do something intentionally.
قصدش رو داشتن. Yes, exactly. I meant to call you. I intended to call you. I wanted to call you. I didn't mean to break your heart. I didn't want to break your heart. Okay? So in here, it's passive. Systems which are meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits. So these complicated rules and complicated systems are there. And what is the intention? The intention of putting those complicated systems and rules there is to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits. What does snoop out mean?
از اون منت قبلی رفتیم پایین.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's another meaning here. Yes. Okay. Complicated rules meant to exclude the undeserving. Exclude? Is that exclude? What does it mean?
Exclude to no. To put something out of, you know.
Very good. What is the opposite of exclude?
Include.
Include, yes. Exclude. And what is the noun form of exclude? Exclude in here is a verb. What is the noun form?
Exclusion.
Very good. Very good.
We have exclusion criteria, for example, in doing an article or in doing a
test.
Test, yes.
Study. Survey,
yes.
survey also. Okay.
Yes,
Sharon,
yes.
can you make a sentence with exclude? Mm-hmm. You have to
In every
put it.
study,
Yeah. Hello. What did you say?
in every study,
Mm-hmm.
in every study, we need to, exclude some members or some patients, for example, in the field of medicine,
Mm-hmm.
because of bias and other things.
Yes. Sharon, you're an expert in sports. Okay. People come to you, they want to go on diets. What do you recommend them to exclude from their diets if they want to lose weight?
I
Yes.
exclude
I recommend them
Mm-hmm.
I
to
recommend
exclude.
Okay.
to exclude
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a new type of a new
Shirin, are you sleep deprived today? You're not yourself.
Yes,
She is, huh?
totally.
Totally.
Yes,
Yes.
totally.
Yes. Why? What
Yeah.
happened?
Because I was not with her last night. I was at hospital.
I see. Okay. I see. Okay. Because you're not yourself, Shireen. You're so silent
Yes.
and yeah. Any problem? Are you all
Yes,
right?
Yes,
Yes.
my mom was sick, and I'm
Oh, I see.
I'm worried about her.
I see. I'm
And
sorry. What's the problem?
yes,
What's the problem?
she has a high blood pressure,
Oh.
and yesterday during the sport, she
Fainted.
She fainted, and they went to the hospital, and the problem that she has is that she didn't remember what did happen
What
for
happened?
her.
She didn't remember what
What
happened. Oh, I
happened.
see. This happened to my dad once, and he has high blood pressure. He just what do you say, Bezat? How do you say it? You say phase out? What do you say?
What?
When someone, blacks out or something? When someone totally forgets it, they do not remember several hours of the day.
Oh, yes.
What do you say? Blackout. I think it's blackout. You say that they blacked out for several hours. I have to check this. So how is she? Does she remember it now?
No, she. I called her before the class, and she was very worried about himself and herself. And she said, I didn't remember anything. I don't remember anything. And I try to help her not to insist on to recall them and remember them, and it's not very important.
It's not important, really,
Yes.
because that happened to my dad some years ago, and he's totally okay and healthy now. It just happened for one day, and he was okay. Don't worry. I'm not a doctor, but I'm telling you, don't worry. Okay, Bezat, you tell her not to worry. You're the doctor.
Yes.
You must know
But
this better.
she's in a good condition now.
Yeah, okay. So she's at the hospital, and it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes.
So I cannot expect much from you today because you're worried and your mind is elsewhere. But don't
Yes,
worry.
exactly.
Okay.
Before the class, I wanted not to take part the class.
Take part in the class. No, but it helps because it takes your mind off of that problem. Just be in the class.
Yes.
Okay, so I won't ask you any questions. Just be there and watch and listen.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, Behzad, back to you. Rules meant to exclude the undeserving. Exclude the undeserving. What does undeserving mean?
But benefits are subject of mechanisms meant to exclude the undeserving. Yeah, undeserving means maybe they have a good welfare in that country, and people think that they can be beneficial from that welfare, but there are a lot of rules that exclude a lot of people who are undeserving, I think.
Means undeserving means
یعنی بهشون تعلق نمیگیره.
Okay, in English, they don't deserve it. Huh? They don't
They don't
deserve
deserve it, yeah.
Not بهشون تعلق نمیگیره, but they don't deserve this. Okay, for example, it's
Yeah.
meant to be given to the poor, but if you're not poor, then you don't deserve it.
Yes.
Okay?
You don't
But
deserve it.
undeserving, what is the part of speech of undeserving? What is the part of speech?
To exclude the undeserving. Undeserving is noun.
No.
Adjective.
Very good, Shireen. Adjective. It's an adjective.
Adjective?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You see the article "va" before that, the undeserving. It means all the people who have this quality, they don't deserve it. We say the rich, the poor.
Yes. I got it.
Okay. The poor, the undeserving. Okay. So, to exclude the undeserving. These can run amok. What does this mean? It's an expression. Guess it, please. Don't look it up. These can run amok.
These means actually these complicated rules.
Yes, or these complications. Can run amok. Run amok is an expression. What does it mean?
Can cause, maybe.
Cause what? That is the end of the sentence. These can run amok.
I don't know. Amok?
Yes, you can guess it. It's very easy here.
These can run amok. What is the system meant to snoop out abuse? I can look it up in my dictionary.
Okay, thank you very much, but no. These can run amok. See, before this sentence, you hear that, okay, this is a welfare state, and there are a lot of benefits that the government offers people, but there are some complicated rules because these rules are there so that the welfare belongs to people who deserve it. And
Yes.
then at the end, you see that it's a bureaucratic country, so these can run amok.
This can cause maybe chaos.
Very good. Excellent. That's what I want you to do. Yes, exactly. To run amok means when it becomes uncontrollable. You cannot control it anymore. Or as you put it, it causes a chaos. Okay?
Yes.
When it runs amok, it means that. It causes... Yes, chaos. Yes, chaos. Yes, so it can cause chaos, or it can get out of control or get out of hand.
Yes.
Okay, over the past decade, you must know the meaning of this part too. Systems meant to snoop out abuse of childcare. Systems meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents as fraudsters and drove many into penury. So, over the past decade, you know this, systems meant to snoop out abuse. Another reduced clause is here. What is the full form? Systems meant to snoop out abuse.
Systems are meant.
No. What did you say about the previous meant? You said which are meant. Systems which are
Yes,
meant,
yes.
because it's passive.
Which
So
are meant.
systems
Yes,
which
yes.
were meant or which are meant. I think were in here is more applicable. Systems which were meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits, wrongly, blah, blah. Snoop out, what does that mean? Before you guess the meaning of snoop, you know abuse. Abuse of childcare.
I know.
Okay, you know childcare benefit. What does childcare benefits mean?
Child care benefits.
Yes, yes.
The benefits of caring children.
What is it?
The systems meant to snoop out abuse of
What does benefits
child care
mean?
benefits.
Benefit in here does not mean advantage. It's not that meaning of benefit.
Yes.
If you're a clerk
Yes, it's hard.
at a bank, you get some benefits. Not advantages,
Yes.
no, benefits. For example, if I'm an ordinary person, I want to get a loan, there are some complicated rules for me because I'm an ordinary person, an average Iranian. But if you are a bank clerk, there are some benefits. You can get a loan
Yes.
more easily. Yes, what did you say, Shireen?
Facilities, some
Very good.
facility.
Exactly, exactly. So facilities. So childcare benefits mean that. It doesn't mean advantages of childcare. So what are childcare benefits? Can you name some childcare benefits?
For example, they pay amount of money for their clothes, or
Yes, exactly.
they have some
An amount of money that is paid by the government to the parents. That is one. That is one benefit.
Yes.
Okay. So abuse of childcare benefits. What does that mean? What do you think that means?
Oh yes, yes. They try to abuse these rules.
How? Like how?
One of by
snoop out, skip.
over the past decade, systems meant to snoop out
out.
abuse of
No, we don't have
child
anything to
care
do with the
benefits.
snooping here. Okay, don't think about the snoop. Just abuse of childcare benefits. How can you abuse this? How can there be abuse of this?
Maybe they intentionally decide to give some benefits to some people and not to give these benefits to other people.
Like what? Can you give me an example? Explain more.
For example, when we have a lot of complicated rules, based on these complicated rules, you can decide, for example, give the benefits to one person that you like and not to give them to another people who is, deserving.
Yes,
but
more
you decide not
exactly,
to.
or more deserving. Like the subsidies that we have in Iran. The government pays some
Yes.
subsidies to people, and there are some undeserving
Yes.
people, according to the government, and some deserving people.
Yes.
So if you're rich, in their view, you don't deserve to get the subsidies. The subsidies should
Yes.
go to people who are deserving. So let's go back to the sentence. They can run amok over the past decades. Systems meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits. Systems which were meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits wrongly, blah, blah. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the sentence. Systems which were meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits. So the systems, the complicated rules, complicated systems in the government, which can run amok, were meant to snoop out abuse. What does snoop out mean in here? Guess it.
Snoop out is a negative verb, I think, here.
No.
No?
No. It's neutral. It's not negative. It's not positive. When there is the possibility of abuse, okay, in a country, and they put some rules, they put some complicated rules and systems to snoop out
Yes.
abuse. What does it mean?
I don't know.
You know, it's
Skip.
very easy. What did you say, Shiri?
Skip.
No.
Skip doesn't make sense in here. No, doesn't have anything to do with skip.
In the past decades, it is meant to snoop out abuse of child care benefits. Maybe to be aware of
No.
abuse of child
No,
care
no,
benefits.
no. You must be able to guess in here, okay? Guess. Based on logic, guess. Just suppose, okay, you said once that there is this charity section in the hospital where you work,
Yes,
right?
yes, I can guess.
Okay, what is it?
Systems meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits. Maybe they wanted to be aware of these cases. I mean, abuse.
Very good.
So
Excellent. Exactly.
they wanted
They want
to
to
collect
investigate it.
information.
Exactly, to collect it. Did you
Yes.
look it up or did you guess it?
No,
You
no.
guess it. Very good. Excellent. See, you can guess it so easily. Then you'll remember it forever, almost forever. Okay. But if you look it up, then you'll forget it easily. So these systems were there in order to find out who's abusing this system. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so these systems, these complicated rules were meant to snoop out abuse, to stop it. Snoop out, of course, does not mean stop. It means to collect information, to investigate.
Yes, yes.
To find out if someone is abusing the system. So, to the beginning of the sentence, over the past decade, systems meant to snoop out abuse of child care benefits wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents as fraudsters. What happened?
Wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents as fraudsters. Yeah. There are more than 20,000 parents which were labeled as, fraudsters.
Yes, but parents,
and actually
yes, parents based that
it was
are
wrong.
people, so not which, who were labeled.
Who were
Yes, you said
labeled,
which.
yes.
Okay, fraudster. What does fraudster mean?
Fraudsters, I think people who do frauds.
Yes, or fraud. Fraud is also a noun meaning the same thing. Yes. So,
Yeah.
so what happened here? Can you explain the whole sentence to me? Systems meant to snoop out abuse of child care benefits wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents as fraudsters. Full stop. What does it mean?
Maybe by their complicated rules, they wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents as fraudsters.
Yes, but I want you to explain more. Explain all the details of the sentence. Systems meant to snoop out abuse wrongly labeled. Explain this part. What you said was correct, but it was not the whole meaning of the sentence.
It's over the past decade, systems meant to snoop out. Systems
say it in your own words. Visit, say it in your own words. You don't have to use the words in here.
Yeah, the government decided to collect information about the wrong information or abuse of these rules, like we say, child care benefits. And speaking of this rule, the writer is going to say that more than 20,000 parents were wrongly labeled as fraudsters.
Okay, you're saying the same words in here. I want you to use your own words. Say it in your own words.
It wants to say that because of these complicated rules, they were mistaken. And
very good.
For
But
example,
not very good. Yes, that is enough. But not because of the rules. No. Although the rules were there in order to stop that mistake or those mistakes, it happened. Even though there were some rules, mistakes happened. The rules were there in order to stop the mistake, but unfortunately, the mistakes happened. That's what I want us to say.
Why? Because some people abused some rules. Yes.
Or the system. Yes, exactly. And drove many into penury. What does this mean?
And drove many into
penury. Okay, if you don't know this, you cannot guess this one because penury.
It wants to say that a lot of parents were supposed to be fraudsters, and maybe many of these parents drove into penury. Penury means jail.
Okay, no, it doesn't have anything to do with punitive or stuff like that. Okay, it might remind you of punitive, but no. Penury in here means poverty. Okay, it's used mostly in British English. Poverty. You couldn't guess this one. If you didn't know, you couldn't guess this one. But you said parents drove. No, parents did not drive into penury. This system drove them into penury. Okay, you drive somebody into penury. People do not drive into penury. Someone drives someone into penury. You drove me crazy. That's the structure. To drive somebody crazy, to drive somebody into penury. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Read it again, this time slowly. Okay, little by little. Try to remember what we said at every part of the paragraph. Okay, go on.
The Dutch welfare state, the fraud that wasn't, Amsterdam, innocent parents, guilty government. Every country's welfare state is a reflection of its soul. Take the Netherlands, an egalitarian country, but also
an egalitarian.
an egalitarian country, but also a deeply Calvinist and bureaucratic. Yes, and
say it again.
Bureaucratic and bureaucratic one. Dutch benefits are generous.
This is another thing you can use in your writing. I forgot to mention one in here. You know, it's a pronoun in here. The writer used it instead of what? One in here.
Country.
Very good. Use this in your writing because you know repetition causes losing points in the IELTS test. Okay, so when you're writing the writing section, use this. When you want to repeat something, see if you can use one instead. Use one instead of repeating that noun. Okay, go on. Dutch.
Dutch benefits are generous. Income inequality is among the lowest in the EU, but benefits are subject to complicated rules meant to exclude the undeserving. These can run amok. Over the past decade, systems meant to snoop out abuse of childcare benefits wrongly labeled more than 20,000 parents as fraudsters and drove many into penury.
Yes, very good. Can you go on, please? There's an expression I wanted you to know. So would you please go on? Finish this paragraph.
Yes. On January 15th, Mark Rutte, the Prime Minister, and his cabinet resigned over the scandal.
Great. So Margaret, the prime minister, you know prime minister, how do you say it in Farsi? Prime minister.
نخست وزیر.
And his cabinet, how do we say cabinet in Farsi?
دولت.
In Farsi? Kabine.
نخست
Say
وزیر.
kabine, right?
کابینه.
This is British English. Americans usually use another thing instead of cabinet. It's not wrong. Of course, they might use it on the news. They also use administration. Okay,
Yes,
administration. Resigned. What does resign mean in Farsi again?
استعفا.
Yes, very good.
In Farsi
Yes,
استعفا.
استعفا. Over the scandal. What is scandal?
رسوایی.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Very good. Something someone does that is wrong, you know, like morally or legally wrong.
Oh, yes,
It's a
yes.
scandal. There's also a TV series named Scandal. It's an American TV series about the American administration, different governments in the US. So, scandal. It may herald a modest shift to the left in Dutch social policy. It may herald. What does herald mean? Herald, yes. What is a part of speech of the word herald in here, Bezat?
It may herald. It is a verb.
Yes, very good. What does it mean?
It may herald a modest shift to the left in Dutch social policy. It may cause.
Very good. Not exactly, but herald means, Shirin, any thoughts?
It may have
When something is a sign of another thing.
sign.
A sign. S-I-G-N, sign of another thing. Sign. It is a formal way of saying this. Okay, you can't use it in conversation. Just for writing.
Yes, it may
Okay, it may herald a modest
to
shift. It may be a sign of a modest shift.
Yes.
Okay, it's a regular verb. The past form is heralded. Can you make a sentence with it?
Yes.
What is your sentence?
After.
For example, there is something famous about Mr. Rouhani, our president. They say that when he makes a speech and predicts something for the future, it heralds that the opposite will happen. Have you heard this?
Yes, yes.
Okay. It heralds,
Yes.
it's a sign that shows the opposite will happen, okay? It may herald a modest shift to the left. To the left, what is meant by the left?
چپگرایی.
Yes, exactly. In Dutch social policy. Okay. So that's taken a lot of time, but I wanted to teach you this. Okay. Shirin, I'm sorry I didn't ask you to read because you said you were not feeling very well. So Bezat, would you please read this part? The one I'm referring to.
How come?
No. In here.
Yes.
This one, the cabinets. Can you see this?
Cabinet.
1, 2, 3. Okay, the third paragraph on the right. Let me move this one. Okay. Now, can you see it? The cabinet's resignation.
Yes, yes, yes.
Please read it.
The cabinet's resignation is in a sense an empty gesture.
Okay, stop that there. What does it mean? Have you heard an empty gesture? Have you heard this before?
Empty gesture. It's just for show off.
Very good. It's an empty gesture, or it's just for a show off. There's an equivalent for this in Farsi.
This cabinet
The verb is make, to make an empty gesture.
خالی بندی.
No, not خالی بندی. No. You could, I think, no, I can't say no. Maybe in some context you could say that it's خالی بندی. Why not? I should have said that there are different equivalents for this in Farsi. But there's one beautiful expression we have in Farsi that is Shabdul-Azimi, تعارف Shabdul-Azimi. What does it mean?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so when you make an empty gesture, it could also mean تعارف Shabdul-Azimi. Okay, you offer help.
You offer help, but actually you don't mean that.
Not just that you don't mean, no. The fact is that when you offer help, you're sure that the other person you're sure that they will not ask for your help. That's why you make that gesture. It's an empty one. Do you know about Shabdul-Azim and Taruf Shabdul-Azimi? Do you know the story behind it?
No.
No, they said that in the past, when Reza Shah made this what do you call train that went from Tehran to Shabdul-Azim. Okay, they sold two-way tickets that was good for only 24 hours. Okay, if you bought the ticket from Tehran and you went to Shabdul-Azim, you had to come back the same day. Otherwise, it would expire. Okay, so people would go to Shabdul-Azim and they had some relatives there, and the relatives would ask them to stay the night because they knew that they couldn't, because if they stayed, then they would lose the tickets. So it was an empty gesture on their parts. So this is an empty gesture. When you know that it won't be accepted, you know that the other party or the person you're making this gesture to won't ask for it, won't accept it, won't get it. That's why you make that gesture.
It was great.
Yes, an empty gesture. Okay, I just hope that we could cover all this and get to this part, but I saw that we're running out of time, so I just skipped those paragraphs and went to this. All right.
Today we had a lot of great examples, especially when you decided to explain subject to. You gave us 2 or 3 different examples in different meanings. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dear. Okay, I hope it helps, and I hope that Shireen can work on this one for the review session next week. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you both. Thank you both. And see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.
Bye bye.